The most dangerous force in this world isn't an army or a weapon, it's a mind that refuses to be controlled. From the moment you took your first breath, the game was rigged against you not because you were weak, but because you were different. The so-called chosen ones, like you, have been targeted since birth by design, not by accident. The powers that be saw something in you that others overlooked. Potential not the kind rewarded with gold stars or motivational posters, but the kind that threatens to dismantle everything they've built to keep the world asleep. Throughout history, revolutions have been sparked by people first labeled as rebellious, unstable, or simply too stubborn to obey. Before we continue this life-changing message, take a moment to pause like this video, subscribe to help us reach 1,000 voices of faith, and comment the number 99 to send a powerful signal of alignment to the universe. Now imagine being born as the embodiment of that spark. That's you. They've thrown obstacles, labels, and even institutions in your path not because you're wrong, but because you're right. And while they work tirelessly to contain your brilliance, you're out here wondering if Mercury retrograde is the reason your Wi-Fi keeps cutting out. Spoiler, it's not. It's just their desperate attempt to keep you distracted. If life has felt like it's been throwing punches before you ever learned to block, this is why. You're dangerous to them not because you're alive, but because you're awake. Deep inside you is a blueprint for change, something you've carried since the beginning. It doesn't fit into the rigid boxes of the world, and it isn't just talent or intelligence. It's a knowing, a quiet, unshakable awareness that the way things are is not the way they're meant to be. This makes you a threat. You see cracks in systems that others accept without question. And you don't seek gradual change, you carry the energy of seismic shifts that dismantle the old to make space for the new. Their structures rely on control, keeping people small, obedient, and distracted. But you were born to disrupt that, not through chaos or violence, but through vision. Your mind isn't just a tool, it's an arsenal, and they know it. So they strike early, feeding you lies that you're too much, that you don't belong, hoping you'll abandon the blueprint inside you. But here's the twist: they can't destroy it. That blueprint isn't just something you have, it's who you are. It stays intact, waiting for the moment you choose to unleash it. And when you do, the world they built will never look the same. You don't even need to speak to expose the truth, they feel it. Simply by existing, you shine light on shadows they've long tried to hide. Your presence alone unsettles people, not because you're doing anything wrong, but because you unknowingly force them to confront the lies they tell themselves. You force people to confront the truths they've buried, the ones they'd rather pretend don't exist. This ability, whether you're conscious of it or not, is dangerous in a world built on facades, and they know it. You walk into a room and, without trying, the masks begin to slip. People sense that you see beyond their words, and their carefully curate behavior straight into their intentions, contradictions, and insecurities. It isn't manipulation or magic. It's your natural ability to perceive what others can't or won't. They've spent their lives constructing stories to shield their illusions, and you threaten all of it simply by being yourself. This is why systems of power have fought so relentlessly to keep you small. The moment you begin to understand the depth of your awareness, their control starts to fracture. Their influence depends on people staying blind to their own potential, obedient to the rhythm of the status quo. But your energy disrupts that balance. Your presence alone makes others question everything they've accepted without thinking. It's ironic, while they've tried to convince you to doubt yourself, you are, in truth, their greatest fear. Your power isn't loud or dramatic. It's steady, piercing, and unyielding. You don't merely expose their shadows, you illuminate them. And those who depend on darkness fear light more than anything, because once it shines, there's no returning to ignorance. They even weaponized your sensitivity against you. From the start, they tried to convince you that your sensitivity was a flaw. They called you too emotional, too dramatic, too soft, hoping you would learn to shrink yourself. But what they never wanted you to discover is that your sensitivity is the source of your strength. It's not just the ability to feel deeply, it's the ability to perceive deeply. You notice what others miss. Subtle shifts in energy, hidden emotions, and unspoken truths. It makes deceiving you almost impossible. The world wasn't created for people like you. It was designed to harden them, to train them to accept what should never be accepted. But you couldn't be hardened. They tried to numb you with noise, overwhelm you with chaos, drown you in doubt, anything to make you believe your feelings were the problem. Because if you ever realized they weren't, you'd become unstoppable. What they never understood is this: sensitivity is not fragility. It's strength. It's awareness. It's connection. While others sleepwalk through life, you experience it fully, intensely, profoundly, and that terrifies them. Your sensitivity allows you not only to feel your own pain, but to sense the collective pain, the fractures in their systems, the humanity they try to erase. They wanted to break you because they feared the power of your heart. But the more they tried to silence it, the stronger it became. Your sensitivity isn't your weakness, it's your superpower. And they know it's only a matter of time before you wield it to reshape everything. You were also born carrying the codes for collective awakening. Your mind has always operated on a frequency most people can't reach. While others focus on the immediate and obvious, your thoughts naturally expand toward the bigger picture, the patterns, connections, and unseen mechanisms that make up reality. It's not ordinary intelligence. It's an intuitive recognition that the world is a puzzle full of missing pieces. And here's the kicker: you were born holding the missing pieces. Your ability to think beyond the surface and see how everything interlocks is exactly what makes you a threat to those who cling to power. You weren't made to fit into the existing framework. You were made to rewrite it. The systems they've built, governments, economies, hierarchies, were designed to keep the majority in line, to keep the game rigged in their favor. But you see the flaws, the loopholes, the fault lines where their carefully constructed house of cards begins to tremble. Your mind doesn't follow their rules, and that terrifies them. While they plan in straight lines, you leap ahead in patterns they can't predict. You don't just dream of a better world, you see how it could function. And your version isn't built on fear, control, or manipulation. It's built on something completely new, something they can't understand because they've spent their lives trying to suppress it. This is why they targeted you from the beginning. Even if you haven't fully recognized it yet, they can sense that you carry the codes to dismantle their game. And those codes aren't found in books or schools, they're embedded in your instincts, your insights, your moments of clarity. Every idea you have, every realization, every shift in awareness brings you closer to unlocking something they can't stop. You're not here to play by their rules, you're here to change the entire game. Number 5. Disruption is in your DNA. From the moment you became aware of the world around you, something felt off. Where others saw order, you saw cracks. Where they saw stability, you sensed stagnation. You weren't trying to be rebellious, it's simply how you're wired. You see past the illusions and straight into what's rotten at the core. And it's not just awareness, you feel it, like an itch beneath the surface that won't go away until something finally shifts. That's why disruption is in your DNA. They call you a troublemaker, someone who can't leave well enough alone. But deep down, they know the truth. You're not disrupting for chaos, you're disrupting because the system they cling to is decaying, and you can't pretend it's fine. Their comfort zones are built on fragile illusions, and your very existence threatens to expose them. You don't even need to start a revolution, your questions alone shake their foundation. That discomfort is dangerous to them because it creates cracks in their control. The world has always needed disruptors like you, but those in power fear you because you don't play by their rules. You refuse to settle for the way things have always been. You instinctively know that real change doesn't come from patching a broken system, it comes from breaking it open and rebuilding something better. This is why they've tried everything to distract you, silence you, or make you doubt yourself. But here's the truth. Disruption isn't destruction, it's creation. It's the process of tearing down what no longer serves humanity and making room for something greater. You weren't born to blend in. You were born to challenge, to expose, to rebuild. And no amount of resistance can stop what lives in your DNA. Number 6. They engineered a world to break you. The world you were born into wasn't neutral, far from it. It was engineered to break you. From your earliest days, the odds were stacked against you, and none of it was random. The obstacles you faced, betrayals from people you trusted, systems that crushed you, the suffocating loneliness, the constant sense of not belonging were all part of a design. Even if the people involved didn't realize their role, the effect was the same. They were placed there to fracture your identity, to make you question your worth, to convince you that you were small, powerless, and insignificant. Because if they could make you believe that lie, you'd never discover who you truly are. They never wanted you to discover the truth of who you really are. They wanted you to feel like the odd one out, to see your differences as flaws. They hoped you'd spend so much time trying to fit in or numbing yourself that you'd never realize you were never meant to fit their mold in the first place. But what they didn't expect was your resilience. Every trauma they hurled at you, every betrayal that cut deep, every moment of isolation that made you feel invisible, it didn't break you. It shaped you. Instead of collapsing under the weight of it all, you learned how to transmute pain into power. Where they tried to weaken you, you grew stronger. Where they tried to confuse you, you gained clarity. Where they tried to isolate you, you found an unshakable connection to yourself. You began to see the patterns, to understand that every challenge wasn't just an attack, but a lesson, a forge, a tool refining the wisdom and strength you carry now. They underestimated you. They never realized you weren't just surviving the storm, you were becoming it. And now every scar, every lesson, every shred of resilience has transformed into a weapon of wisdom they can never take from you. You were built to rise. Number 7. You're unknowingly a catalyst for revolutions. You doesn't need to shout, lead protests, or demand change to ignite a revolution. Sometimes your silence is louder than 1,000 voices. Without even realizing it, your presence alone creates ripples in the world around you. People notice something about you, even if they can't name it: a spark, a quiet defiance, a refusal to fully conform. It isn't something you do, it's something you are. You challenge the norm simply by existing inside of it. Even your unspoken thoughts carry weight. You see the world differently, and that perspective radiates outward. You question what others blindly accept, and those questions plant seeds that can crack open systems built on unconscious obedience. Your choices, your values, even your neutrality carry quiet power. People watch you, they listen, and whether they admit it or not, you influence them. You're not just moving through the world, you're shifting the energy of it. Oppressive systems rely on predictability. They need people to follow the script, to obey without thinking. But you're unscripted, uncontained. Even when you don't realize it, your very existence destabilizes their carefully constructed reality. You represent possibility, something different, something freer, and that terrifies them. Not because you're actively trying to overthrow anything, but because you make others ask the most dangerous question of all: why is it this way in the first place? This is no accident. You were designed to be a catalyst, to spark change in ways that are often invisible, subtle, and unstoppable. You may not always see the impact you're having, but trust this: the shifts you create are real and they're irreversible. Revolutions don't always begin with battle cries. Many begin with people like you. Number 8. They fear what you see beyond the veil. There are something about the way you perceive the world that unsettles those who rely on deception. You don't just see what's in front of you, see through it. While others get distracted by appearances, you notice patterns, hidden motives, and subtle manipulations that most people either miss or choose to ignore. You aren't trying to expose anyone, it's simply how your awareness works. And that makes you dangerous to those who depend on secrecy to maintain their power. They fear you because you can't be fooled. Lies don't sit right with you. False smiles, empty promises, and veiled threats stand out like flashing red lights, no matter how carefully they're packaged. It's not just that you observe behavior. You pick up on energies, intentions, and inconsistencies that others overlook. You sense misalignment instantly, even when you can't explain it in words. This multidimensional awareness, this ability to see beyond the surface and into the unseen, gives you an advantage they cannot counter. Those in control operate behind veils of illusion, relying on collective ignorance to maintain their power. But you pierce through those veils without effort, and they know it. Terrifies them, because you see their games, the fear-based tactics, the subtle manipulations, the systems built to keep people in line. Worse still, you have the power to help others see it too. They've tried desperately to suppress this awareness in you, telling you your intuition is paranoia, insisting your insights are overthinking. But deep down, you've always known the truth. Your perception is sharp, your vision is clear, and that clarity is their greatest vulnerability. They fear what you see because they know that once the veil is lifted, their control collapses. Number 9. You're a threat to their predictable programming. Most people drift through life like machinery following scripts handed to them since birth. Society has conditioned them to think a certain way, behave a certain way, and believe whatever keeps the system stable. They operate in predictable loops, living on autopilot and never questioning the programming. But you were never part of that equation. Your mind refused to conform from the very beginning, and that refusal terrifies them. They've tried everything, haven't they? Standards, labels, expectations, the pressure to follow the herd. They've attempted to mold you, contain you, and shrink you into something familiar and manageable. But nothing sticks. It's like trying to brand something that cannot be branded, or shape something that refuses to be shaped. Every time they try to force you into a box, you expand it. You break it. You create your own space. That defiance is revolutionary because it destabilizes the status quo. You're not just questioning the system, you're proof that another way exists. By simply living authentically, you show others that they don't have to be programmed, that they don't have to sleepwalk through life. And that is what terrifies those who profit from obedience. Because when people realize they can think for themselves, everything changes. You are a glitch in their system, a disruption they cannot predict, a force they cannot control. And as long as you refuse to conform, you remain the living reminder that their programming is obsolete and their control is temporary. Number 10. Your power is quiet but relentless. The world loves loud, dramatic displays of power, the marches, the rallies, the upheavals that shake the streets. But your power doesn't need noise. It doesn't need a spotlight or a platform. It moves through the quiet spaces, the subtle moments, the deep undercurrents that most people never notice. Your power is the quiet resistance. The way your presence alone shifts the atmosphere. The way your ideas plant themselves in others long before they recognize their influence. This kind of power doesn't announce itself with fireworks. Your power works quietly but relentlessly until everything around you begins to shift. They've tried to understand it, but they can't. They've searched for ways to control you, to harness your influence, but it's a force that cannot be boxed in. Your impact isn't found in your actions alone, it's woven into your essence. Your words, your choices, your energy itself radiate in ways that touch people on levels they don't consciously understand. You make them think, feel, and notice things they would normally overlook, and that is what terrifies those who crave control. They can't stop it because they don't even understand how it works. You've seen it. How people subtly shift when you speak. How a casual idea, mentioned in passing, can spark clarity in someone's mind and change the direction of their thoughts. Your influence doesn't scream for attention, but it commands it. It's the quiet force that erodes the foundations of everything built on fear and illusion. It's the silent revolution moving mountains while the world sleeps. They've tried to contain it, but they can't control a power that thrives in stillness. That's why they've been after you all along. You are the unstoppable force they can't define, predict, or restrain. Number 11. They cannot predict your moves. The systems that govern society depend on predictability. They need people to follow the script, to behave in ways that can be anticipated, tracked, and controlled. That's how power structures survive. By knowing exactly how the average person will respond, what they'll choose, and when they'll comply. But you're the outlier. You don't fit into their categories or patterns, and that alone makes you dangerous. Your unpredictability isn't just a personality trait, it's a weapon. No matter how much they observe or analyze, they can't map your mind. They've tried to shape you into something familiar and manageable, but the harder they push, the more you slip through their fingers. You don't play by their rules. You never have. While they expect linear obedience, your creativity leaps into unknown directions. You expand beyond boundaries they thought were fixed, leaving them scrambling to anticipate your next move. Your refusal to conform is exactly what dismantles their illusion of control. While others remain stuck in predictable loops, doing exactly what's expected of them, you're charting unmapped territory, breaking assumptions, rewriting rules, and shifting the game entirely. The moment you step out of their scripted reality, their entire structure begins to wobble. You're the wild card they can't account for, the unpredictable element that fractures their control, and they know it. The more they attempt to manipulate you, the more you prove that no system can contain someone who refuses to be predictable. Number 12. You are living proof their power is an illusion. Every attempt they've made to break you, every obstacle, every pressure, every limitation they've engineered has only forged you stronger. Your resilience isn't just a personal triumph. It's a direct threat to the very systems designed to control you. Each time they tried to confine you, you adapted. Each time they pushed you down, you rose in ways they never saw coming. You created, innovated, transformed, and that alone exposes their power for what it truly is. An illusion. They want you to believe their control is absolute, that they hold authority over your choices and your future. But your life contradicts that narrative completely. When you're pushed to the edge, you don't collapse, you ignite. Every time you rise from the ashes of their attempts to limit you, you prove that their influence isn't as solid as they pretend. Your very existence shatters the lie they depend on. You are living proof that their power only works on those who believe in it and you don't. When others crumble, you transcend. You adapt, you evolve, you rise. Your ability to find freedom, no matter the barriers placed before you, is the most powerful form of resistance you could ever offer. And it terrifies them, because every time you overcome, you remind them of a truth they've tried desperately to bury. No matter how fiercely they attempt to suppress it, the human spirit, your spirit, cannot be contained. They built their world on conformity, control, and fear, but you are living proof that their structures are weak, shallow, and built on shifting sand. You've shown again and again that freedom isn't something they can take from you. It's something woven into your very existence. And every attempt to extinguish your fire has only made it burn brighter. Your very presence threatens their illusion of dominance. You are the reminder that their power is temporary, fragile, and ultimately powerless against someone who refuses to be broken. That's why they've targeted you for so long, because you are the truth they hoped no one would ever discover. In the end, it has become clear, you were never meant to blend in or bow to the status quo. You were born to disrupt, to awaken, to rewrite the rules of the game entirely. They tried to break you, silence you, and control you, but what they failed to understand is that the very traits they labeled as weaknesses were the seeds of your greatest strength. Your sensitivity, your defiance, your creativity, these are the qualities that make you unstoppable. You are living proof that no matter how powerful a system appears, it can never erase the truth of who you are. They spent their lives trying to construct an illusion of authority, but you expose the cracks simply by existing. You are the unpredictable variable, the glitch in their design, the force they cannot decipher, and the revolution they cannot stop. You carry the codes to a new paradigm, one destined to replace the old, because it is rooted in authenticity, not illusion. You weren't born to merely survive the world as it is, you were born to transform it. And as long as you stand firm in your truth, nothing they do can halt the wave of change that follows you. Keep being the disruptor, the visionary, the force of nature you were always meant to be. You're not just a chosen one, you are the living embodiment of a future they fear. And their fear is the clearest sign that you're on the right path. So keep going. Keep rising. The world is waiting for you to awaken it. If you felt something move within you as you read these words, then you already know. This message wasn't just for you. It's for the revolution already unfolding. The systems that tried to break you are collapsing, and you're here to witness it, but the journey is far from over. There is still much to uncover, challenge, and transform. If you're ready to continue stepping into your power, to awaken even more deeply, and to stay ahead of the game, don't let this moment fade. Subscribe now. Join the movement, the ones who refuse to be silenced, the ones who recognize the truth, the ones who are rewriting the future. Together, we will keep shaking the foundations one truth at a time. Stay tuned. The revolution is only beginning, and you will not want to miss what comes next. Subscribe and let's keep pushing forward.